The following portion of Daytime Tri-Cities is sponsored by AFI, your financial North Star.
Many people find themselves in need of a financial advisor at one point or other in their life, but what should you know before choosing a financial advisor? This morning, Peter Raber from AFI Advisors is here with some information on making an informed decision as part of making money manageable. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's talk about this. You know, at what point in your life do you think that people are most in need of a financial advisor?
I think a lot of people have the impression that they will need it when they have money. Or they'll need it right before they retire. I look at it a little bit differently in that you need it when you have uncertainty. So when you don't know what's wrong with your health, you go to a doctor. You know, when you don't know what's wrong with your plumbing, you call a plumber. Same type of thing. So if you don't have that certainty of what is going on within your finances, that's a really good time to reach out so that we're not trying to walk back decisions that were made.
Right.
And another good time to make this decision is when you don't have time to do it yourself properly. So a lot of people who feel like they want to do it on their own start doing it and then realize, oh, I need to go and read this investment report, or I need to listen to this conference call, or when did this rule change? And that gets overwhelming. So it's what's a good use of your time. And a lot of times outsourcing that to someone like ourselves makes a lot of sense, just so that you can focus on the things that matter and we can worry about all the minutia of it.
Right. What are some of the things we should look for in a financial advisor?
As much as I would like to say a bald head and a beard, really for me the biggest thing is, can you communicate well with this person? So oftentimes I'll say your credentials get you in the door. So everybody should be, have a background in finance and be aware of the markets and have a history in the market. But really it's about trust, sitting down back and forth, because the most important thing in any relationship between an advisor and a client is, do I trust you? Do I feel comfortable? Did I value, the communications back and forth? So many times we'll work with families and one or another of the spouse say, well, they only talked to my spouse, they didn't talk to me when I met with them, and they feel disconnected. So making sure you have a quality human connection is almost as important as the other things, but you obviously need all the credentials to go along with it.
And what should you ask when you sit down with this person, or you sit down with a series of financial advisors trying to pick the right one? What are some of the questions you should ask them?
So it's really important to find out how they're compensated so that you know what you're paying for. I'm going to throw this term out that people may or may not be aware of, but it's fiduciary. Are you a fiduciary? And I think that's really important. What it basically means is, are you bound by the law to do what's in the best interest of the client, even if it's not in the best interest for yourself? So being a fiduciary, I think, is a tremendously important thing to do. What your investment philosophy is, whether or not they've been through a bad market. So if, for example, you were working with someone who had only been in an up market, let's say they started shortly after the great financial collapse of 2008, but pre-COVID, it's been nothing but roses. So that tints your view of the market. So knowing how to manage bad times and knowing what those bad times mean on a personal level, not on a percentage level, I think is really important.
And knowing their investment philosophy, how they are going to approach your individual needs.
Right. So knowing, hey, I only do it this one way. I do these stocks, I do this setup, and I do this, or I only do these models. Or there's people even within our own office. Justin, who's been on the show before, has a lot more clients that he deals directly with who want more of an aggressive stock style. I deal with a little bit more of the people who want stable, long-term growth in a different way. And neither one of those are wrong, but you have to find somebody that matches what you're trying to do. So if you came to a firm like ours and said, hey, I want to be a day trader, but I want you all to do it, that's maybe not as good of a fit as someone who's looking for long-term planning. And there's firms out there that specialize in each type, and you got to make sure that it matches up with what you're trying to do.
And you should ask about what other services are provided through that financial advisor.
So similarly what I said with Justin, if you come to us and we've got Robert there doing legal work and we all do some tax returns, it gives us a broad view of what we're doing. But we don't do insurance. We can advise on it. So depending upon what your needs are, it might make sense for you to work with one type of advisor versus another, or finding I think it's important to find somebody who does a broad range.
Right.
That way, they're not just focused on one portion that they're focused on,
Right.
with excluding what else is happening. And say, well, if a mistake was made out there, that's not my fault. So when they do offer those extra services, it gives you a more holistic picture to your finances.
All right, Peter Raber, thank you so much. Gave us a lot of food for thought there. You really did. And if you want to find out more, go to afiadvisors.org.
The preceding portion of Daytime Tri-Cities is sponsored by AFI, your financial North Star.